Hello, YouTube family, and welcome back to my channel. For those of you that are new here, my name is Lou, and we have a lot to catch up on. A couple of weeks ago, I took a trip to Scotland for cows and castles, and possibly to transfer myself back in time to a Scottish lover. I thought against that last part though, because something tells me it would not work out the same for me. However, while I was there, I had to stop into some bookstores and possibly get some UK cover books. I can't wait to show you guys what I got, but first, a little bit about the trip. We had a bit of a rocky start when we got to Scotland and our luggage was stuck in Heathrow. So we spent the first 24 hours smelly from the plane, not really able to go anywhere and do anything. So obviously we couldn't really go anywhere to like sit and eat. So we went to the grocery store that was nearby. We picked up a few things. I didn't really get a recording, but they had the cutest little milk jugs. Like they were tiny, but they looked like little milk jugs. I should have recorded that. I didn't. Not to mention driving on the opposite side of the car and the opposite side of the road is a very weird experience. There was a lot of back and forth trying to get our bags than what was necessary, but eventually we did get our bags and we were able to shower and change. And we drove into Edinburgh and it was amazing. The architecture, the vibes, there was a street performer playing bagpipes. We stopped into a cathedral and I was in awe. I wish I could say it was all a positive experience, but unfortunately, I cannot. What I will say is that you shouldn't drive in a city, in a foreign country, if you don't have experience driving on the opposite side of the road. Because I did that. And I scratched the rental car. And that was the last time that I drove in the city. We still drove when we were outside of the city on the like less chaotic roads, but it was really just driving to the train station and then taking the train, which is what I recommend to anyone wanting to take a trip to the UK, to just do that from the beginning. Don't risk it. However, I did see a Blackwell's while I was in Edinburgh and I stopped in. I love Blackwell's. Honestly, it's not much different than Barnes and Noble, but somehow it is. It also is, if you know what I mean. I did see Nadia Corafor's Death of the Author there with the UK cover. Also had this large display for Night in the Moth by Rachel Gillard because the release happened while I was out there. I walked around the entire Blackwell's, but of course, when I made it to the sci-fi fantasy section, I was like, gimme, 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 gimme. I was having a really hard time controlling myself. Part of why I went crazy wasn't just the books that I found, but the prices. The prices that they have for their books are significantly cheaper, it feels, to ours. Their YA paperback books convert to about the same, but their hardcovers are like $10 cheaper. I walked out with 7 books from that Blackwell's paying $100 US. 4 of those books were paperbacks and 2 of them were hardcover books. And yeah, I only paid $100 US, which I feel would not happen here. I mean, I could test it out and try to pick up those exact books and see what the bill will be, but I feel very confident that I would not walk away with 7 books, 2 of them being hardback, having only paid $100 US. I'm convinced. I'm convinced that just wouldn't happen. The books that I did end up buying from that Blackwell's was Anji Kills the King, A Song of Legends Lost by M.H. Ayindi, The Devils by Joe Abercrombie, which was on my list of books to buy in the UK, and the Aurora Trilogy. Now, I already have the first book, Aurora Rising, but when I saw the UK editions, the books are shorter than the US editions and they're thicker, but I love their spines and their sprayed edges. I just feel like they display beautifully. So, of course, I had to buy the whole trilogy. We spent the next couple of nights in Glasgow and then we went down to Brighton, which is where I got my 8th book, Witchcraft for Wayward Girls by Grady Hendrix. This is the US cover and this is the UK cover. Both great covers. I just feel like I like this one a little more. This book is mostly a thriller, and I think that this cover kind of says that, which is why I think I like it more. I guess it does have a little bit of magic, witchcraft, but I guess it really all depends on how much you view witchcraft to be magic. Either way, I can't wait to get into this one. I don't know if I want to wait for spooky season or if I want to read it beforehand. We'll see, because I have a lot of books to get through. Now let's talk about the books that I brought with me to Scotland, because when you're traveling, you have to bring a book that's going to fit the vibes. It's going to kind of set the mood. The book that I purchased to take with me was not going to arrive until I was already out of the country, so I had to find an alternative. And I kind of did, but it was a book that I was already more than halfway through, so I ended up just purchasing book A on my Kindle. So yes, I had the ebook and the physical book waiting for me at home. There really wasn't anything that was going to fit. So let's talk about the physical book that I did bring with me. This is A Harvest of Hearts by Andrea Eames. Andrea. Hopefully, I'm saying that right. So, this book is a romantasy that is heavily compared to Howl's Moving Castle. It's even on the book, but I thought it was one of those comparisons that are never actually correct. Like when readers compare anything with Games and Trials to the Hunger Games, even if nothing else about the two books relate, and you're just like, no, it's a light lark. No shade. I'm actually one of the readers that did like that book, but it is nothing like the Hunger Games. However, this book is very similar to Howl's Moving Castle. That is correct. This book is about a young girl named Foss in a world run by sorceresses that are known to take hearts. When they take hearts, it doesn't visibly harm the host, but there are other consequences. And while they have always been sorceresses, a sorcerer comes to Foss's town and takes a piece of her heart unintentionally. So Foss gets to experience what it's really like to have a piece of your heart taken. And it's not fun. So Foss goes to find this sorcerer to try to get her heart back, and the story goes from there. There's a very lovable cat involved. The book had a bit of a slow start, but it picks up, and it was actually a good time. I was really surprised to like this book because our FMC has a little issue with self-loathing. She's not your average beauty, and usually when we get this character arc, I'm not always the biggest fan, but I actually found Foss very endearing and fun to read. Also, she doesn't let it stop her, and I think that's why I could enjoy the book. And our MMC is okay. You like him, but he's not the most special guy out there. This is a book that you buy when you want to read something that is light and fun. It's a good time, but don't have too high of expectations. The book, however, that I got on my Kindle because I simply couldn't find anything else to replace it is The Children of Gods and Fighting Men by Shauna Lawless. This is book one to the Gael Song Trilogy, and it's like Vikings, but with badass magical women. I absolutely devoured this. This book has more political intrigue than any book that I have ever read. The plotting that Gormflaith does, I mean, ugh. One of our main characters is Gormflaith, who's a Fomorian, which is an immortal with fire magic. And our other main character is Fodla, who's a descendant and has healing powers. And her people hunt Fomorians. I can honestly say that I love both of these characters equally, and that just adds to the tension of the story. Gormflaith is a ride or die for her son Citric, and this book can honestly go any which way. I had to put a pause on reading book two because I'm supposed to be reading The Devils by Joe Abercrombie with my book club on Fable, but I have not stopped thinking about this book. When I finish the trilogy, I will definitely come back and do a whole review. Finally, I'd like to take this time to thank Burga, a phone case company that graciously gifted me these Kindle cases that I'm about to show you. I had planned to share about this brand earlier on my TikTok, but while I was in the UK, I got locked out of my account. And my TikTok account is my platform with the largest following. So that was very unfortunate. I've been working really hard to try to get it back. Jury's still out on that one. Anyway, I can share them here with you guys. Burga is a phone case company that I have been using for my phones for I don't even know how many years now. So when they reached out and offered to gift me some Kindle cases, I was like, hell yeah. It was really, really hard to choose because they have so many designs, but I decided to go with something that kind of fits summer. This is the one that I've been using since it came in the mail. It's this beautiful orange color. I love that it's not too aggressive. The Kindle cases come with a magnet to hold them open so it's not flopping all over the place. They also have a strap that you can put your hands in to hold them with more control. This is great for us readers that love to emote when we're reading. The magnet also works both ways, which Burga is really good at combining both design and function. They do it even with their phone cases. It's no surprise that they would also do it with their Kindle cases. This second case that I picked from their catalog is a print that I think will work really well when the weather gets colder. Again, beautiful prints, beautiful colors without being too aggressive. So if you've been looking for new Kindle cases, I would definitely check out their website. Again, there is a lot to choose from. And with Burga, you can actually get the prints that you love for your phone, for your battery packs, your pop sockets, and now your Kindle. Who doesn't love a matching set? So again, thank you, Burga, for these beautiful cases. So in conclusion, Scotland was amazing, but I'm glad to be back home, and I will let you guys go now because I have a lot of reading to get through. As always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Happy reading!